New photos have been leaked, but surprisingly by Dodge, of the 2024. I don't know if you want to call this a Charger or a Challenger, but let's get into it, look at the photos, talk about them, and see if we can actually exactly decipher what we're really looking at. Alright guys, this is actually some pretty interesting news. Dodge has released 4 photos to us of their new, I don't know if it's the new Charger because there's 2 doors here, or if it's going to be a Challenger because the Challenger had 2 doors. Who knows what this really is, honestly, but there's a couple things I think that stand out when we talk about this. So let's go ahead and go over this first photo. Real quick, right off the bat, this looks like a staggered setup. It looks like the front might be slightly bigger than, or slightly smaller, excuse me, than the rears. Looks like the rears would be 305 and the front are 275s. Now that is pretty common, especially in the higher trims for Dodge when it comes to like the Hellcats and whatnot. Bigger in the rear, smaller up front, but these are pretty beefy just as they are. And the overall stance, a lot of people are saying it looks kind of strange. I would say that it kind of harkens back to the old school look. They kind of looked like this. Now, I'm not talking about the front or the hood or anything, but like look at the side profile and how the lines curve. They were always kind of undulated a little bit. It looks like it's a classic looking muscle car from just that side point if you just take everything away like that. You know what I mean? So they're trying to still put futuristic vibes to it on top of still giving us a classic kind of look. So let's go ahead and look at the next picture just a little bit closer up. Pretty interesting color choice. It's some kind of like dark gray, or maybe it's like that Ford blue color, right? The dark bluish grayish color. It's got an interesting finish to it too. I don't know why, but it looks like the front's giving me some weird matte vibes, but it's gloss. I don't know. It's playing with me. The front lip is gloss. That's interesting. Remember we used to just get that plastic black look, satin black look, plastic color? That is gloss. So that is color matching. So I wonder if that will be an option basically. The visibility looks really good out of this actually. If you look at the visibility, it looks fantastic. The windshield is a lot smaller than the Dodge Challenger. When I had my Hellcat, the windshield was ginormous, and it was easy to look out of because of that. But even now, it looks like the visibility is really good on this one. Whether it be a Charger again or a Challenger, we don't really know. But it looks pretty good. Let's go and look at the next picture. That's just another side profile stance of it. Now, it looks a lot better this way. And I think the front in the hood, I think it works. I think it looks good. This must be pretty close to a production model. They've been messing with this probably for a very, very, very long time behind closed doors. But the car doesn't look that bad. The wheels look okay. Man, that gap. Whew, you're going to have to lower the car as soon as you get it. Holy cow, that's like 5 inches. It needs a 2-inch drop minimum. Holy cow, that's crazy. You can see the door, interestingly enough, the door isn't as big either as it was like on the Challenger. The Challenger doors were ginormous. Now, another thing that's worth mentioning too is this roof doesn't slope off as like aggressively as like a Camaro or a Mustang would. And the Hellcat, or I should say the Challenger rear seats, were actually usable. So these seats, rear seats, should actually be usable, and it looks like there is going to be plenty of room back there to sit people. So they're going with a sporty look and have almost like a 4-door sedan type capabilities as far as fitting people back there, or just having more space back there to either haul things, fill the trunk, or whatever it may be. But there looks to be a lot of space back there. Now let's look at the final photo. Here's another photo of the front. That's what the lights look like. I think it looks cool, actually. I like that idea. It's got a light bar. The Fratzog symbol lights up, kind of neat. But I actually like the LED setup here. That looks very futuristic. Yeah, I don't dislike it, but another thing is too, is with the trims and stuff that are coming out, Dodge always gets harped on when you cannot tell the difference between an SXT, a 392, and like a Hellcat. They all look the same to the general public, to the general people, to the naked eye. They all look the same. So hopefully they change some of this stuff up so you can't really tell, or so you can tell, excuse me, what trim you're looking at. Hey, that's a super expensive high trim. I can tell just by looking at it instead of glancing at it and saying it doesn't look any different than anything else. Now, I will say also that I believe that this is a gas version. This is not the electric car. Will the electric car kind of look like this? Sure. It looks a lot different than the pre-production model that they've been showing us at like the car shows. Whether it's the Chicago Auto Show, stuff like that. This looks way different. I 100% believe we are looking at a gas-powered Charger or Challenger, whatever they want to call it. This is a gas-powered vehicle. There is the gas tank / can, whatever you want to call it, where you'd fill up door. This is a gas-powered vehicle. I firmly 100% believe that. So this is what the gas powered is going to be, and you're going to be like, well, what's that going to be powered with? Well, we already kind of know. It's going to be, thanks to Car and Driver, by the way, I will link this in the description. They have the inline 6 with the lowest or standard output being 400 horsepower and 450 pound-feet of torque. Now, one thing to mention, Dodge always suffers from having a heavy vehicle. These engines are lighter, I want to say by 200 pounds. Don't quote me on that. But it is lighter, so therefore the vehicle is already going to be lighter, depending on the materials they use with the vehicle and whatnot. I wouldn't doubt if Dodge could get these cars to 4,100 pounds or lower, and that's for the top performance trim. Because the Hellcat's like 4,450 in the Challenger, and the Charger is like a little over 4,500 pounds. Honestly, if they can make it 4,300 pounds and below, that's a huge deal. Because we know Dodge, they're going to output power on these things. It's going to be insane. But 400 horsepower and 450 pound-feet of torque for a standard output engine is pretty impressive. And then the high output version is 500 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. And again, if they can make that around 4,000 pounds, maybe 4,100 pushing on the high side for that. For the non-super beefed up one, the 800 plus horsepower one, that would be great, and that would be a direct competitor, and probably, honestly, it's going to be faster than the Mustang. It's going to be faster than the Dark Horse. Let's be real. It's going to be faster than Dark Horse. Chevy doesn't really even have anything, so Ford better be putting out some different versions, because Dodge is going to come out swinging. They're going to try to improve the interior, and their basic vehicles are going to be fast right out of the gate, and then their high output stuff is going to be ridiculous. So let me know what you guys think is coming down the pipeline for Dodge. I think it looks okay. I'd have to see it in person. It does look better than the electric version. I have seen that in person. I've even put a video on the channel, I do believe, talking about that. I have seen it in person. It looks way better. I will say, before I let you guys go, that the interior on the electric version is one of the greatest interiors I have ever seen in my life. It is insane. So if Dodge actually ups their game and has a premium interior with cool tech and cool features, it is going to be a knockout of the park. We will just have to see. Hopefully Stellantis is funding that part through and through, so Dodge can be a success. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.